Hi everybody, Tex-Mex here. Thanks for joining me for another video. Today we're going to take a look at the Beretta PX4. This one specifically is the compact version. It is a short recoil rotating barrel system, and that's very interesting. We'll get into that a little bit more here in a second, but it's very similar to the Beretta Cougar, if you remember those. It was the 8000 series. I have one of those. I have the 8040, which was the Cougar in 40 Smith & Wesson. This PX4 is in 9mm. But that's kind of where the similarity ends as far as it having a short recoil rotating barrel system. Other than that, this has the PX4 has a modular trigger system and is a polymer framed pistol with steel inserts. So unlike the Cougar that was all steel or aluminum frame with a steel slide, this is a polymer frame with a steel slide, and obviously the steel inserts in the polymer frame, which is typical for most modern polymer frames. It also has a Picatinny rail, interchangeable back straps, and 3-dot sight system. But other than that, it also has a big difference on how it's taken down. Instead of the Beretta takedown pin system, this one has very much like your common takedown system for most striker fired pistols. It has a spring loaded bar. So let's do a check first. So there's nothing in the magazine and the chamber is clear, so we know we are safe. So there is no takedown pin, as you see here on the side. It just has these two little spurs here on either side that you have to pull down. First you got to pull the slide back a little bit, pull those two inserts down, and then the slide comes right off. And here you have your polymer frame with the steel inserts. We'll put that to the side for a second, and let me show you the slide. So this is obviously this is the recoil spring, the action spring, and it also has this housing. And then we see there's a little lug there. Lug's going to look kind of greasy because it does have grease on it. I am a big believer in using grease in certain parts of my firearm, although you have to know where you're putting it and not to put too much. And as you see, the barrel here has this channel in it. So let me take the barrel out. Sorry, you got to push it forward a little bit, and then it falls straight out without a problem. So you can see these channels, and this little lug fits inside those channels. And what happens is in this system, as the slide comes back, the barrel rotates. So the barrel is rotating as opposed to your typical tipping barrel from other delayed blowback systems. So why have a rotating barrel? One of the benefits is assumably that because the barrel is rotating in, you're going to have a different recoil impression, and that the recoil may come back softer instead of flipping the muzzle up because of the tilt of the barrel. So assembly is just basically doing it the other way around. Drop in the barrel and line up the spring here, and then you just have to put that little lug sitting inside the channel. Once you've got that happening, you got to push it forward a little bit once you actually get the recoil spring where it's supposed to be. Let's see, do I have it? Yeah, that should be it there. So it's sitting in there. Then you get your frame, and that's it. You basically have a functioning firearm once again. And there is the Decocker. So let's get into that a little bit. This is very similar to the 92 in that respect. It has a slide-mounted safety that acts as a Decocker. It's both a single and double action firearm. So you can either take it off safety and from the hammer down, use it as a double action pistol, or as the slide actuates and pushes the hammer back, you can fire it as a single action pistol, or you can just cock the hammer and firing it as a single action pistol. I know there's a lot of complaints, people who do not like slide mounted safeties. I don't have a problem with them, but there is also something that can be done about that. This is the Type F, which uses it as a safety and Decocker. So not only can I put it on safe, but it works as a Decocker. And once it's on safe, the trigger is disconnected and it will not fire. There is a a change you can make, and you can do it to any of these. You just have to change out some of the parts inside, and you can make it what's a Type G, and the Type G makes it a decocker only with no safety. So this lever here then would just be a decocker, but without a safety. That way you'd never have to worry about trying to fire this firearm with the safety on, because it would still work in its double action mode. Even if you actuate it by accident, all you're doing is dropping the hammer, which you can quickly pull back by just pulling the trigger. So this one, as the compact, has a 15-round magazine, although the compact will accept the full-size magazines, and the full-size, I think, are either 17 and maybe 20 rounds, depending on which ones you get. As far as the specs, well, this one has just about a 3 1/4 inch barrel, just 3.27 inches. The full length will have a 4-inch. Weight's about the same. This is a 27.2 ounces, and I think the full size is a 27.7 ounces, so about half an ounce heavier. So I guess another thing is the guide rod with the spring is also it's polymer. I've never had an issue with that, but I'm certain there are aftermarket steel ones if you want to replace them. So it's a great pistol. Like I said, I used it, or I have been using it as a carry conceal device many times when I'm using a fanny pack. And before you mock me too much, I don't use a fanny pack very often. It tends to be something that usually I keep in the car when I'm traveling with family. It's just that way I can take it with myself. It's not an optimal carrying method, but one that is necessary from time to time. As far as the size of the PX4, it's very similar to the PO1. So here's the CZ PO1, a recent acquisition of mine that I'm starting to love more and more. So let's check it. It's clear. And I was going to make this a comparison video, but I thought, well, it's not really fair to compare because, well, this is an alloy frame, and it doesn't have a safety. It's a decocker. Although I guess that was true for some of the other firearms I've compared. So maybe later on I'll do a comparison video of these two. But today we're just focusing on the PX4. And let me move this to the side because I want to show you size-wise. Size-wise, they are very similar. So if you have a PX4, a PO1 or a PX4, they're very similar in size, very similar in width. Let me just try to show you here. So in width, as you can see there, not much of a difference. The grip is thinner, at least the feel is thinner on the PO1 than the PX4. And that is that I have the smallest back strap in here because these are interchangeable, and I have the smallest one in there right now. As far as the lengths of the slide, let's see here. I'm gonna put them side by side and just show you real quick. It's about the same. See, slide length, very, 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 very similar, and height about the same. So, you know, I maybe I will do a comparison video of these two because they do seem to be very similar, and as well as the fact that I think the PO1 is going to end up replacing the PX4, at least for me, for carry for now, just because this one's new and it's cool and I enjoy it, and out of the box I fired this one really, really well, which means with practice I can shoot it even better than that. So, but today's video is about the PX4, not about the PO1. So let's take this sucker to the range. There's really not much more to say. It's a great pistol. Let's see how we do out there, and then I'll come back for a little conclusion. Oh, and you know what? We'll also do some slide slow-mo, so that we can see if there's any real difference in recoil, at least apparent from the slow-mo video. So enough of my yapping, let's head out to the range. And here we are at the range with the Beretta PX4 compact. We got 10 rounds loaded in our magazine. We're gonna take 10 slow shots here at what is 10 yards. See how well we group on our target. I apologize in advance if there's any wind noise. I'll try to mute it out on editing, but it's gotten a little breezy on us here. First shot, double action. The rest will be in single action. Well, not terribly great. I'm going to do another 10 rounds. I think I can tighten that group up a little bit. Let me see what I can do. 10 more rounds at 10 yards. I put a shoot and see target on there. I'm going to aim at the orange dot. And let's see if we can get that group a little bit tighter. Nope. There we go. Well, a little bit better. Let's take a look. Yeah, I must be squeezing my hand a little bit, and that's when I'm pulling them down and to the left. But out of the 10, it looks like I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I got 6 closer to the center, and I dropped 4 down a little bit. So not bad. I mean, at 10 yards, certainly I'd need to practice a little bit and get it tighter. But now let's shoot some steel and see if we can squeeze off 10 rounds pretty quickly on these steel plates. Well, I apologize, it is getting windier, but we got 10 more rounds. We're going to put them on the steel, see if we can get all 10 rounds on the targets. And that's 10. And we are back from the range. Didn't shoot it as well as I would have liked. I have practiced a bit with this firearm. I try to practice with any firearm I carry. But as you could see, my first group was not that great. And it took me shooting it again and really focusing on my, on my hands and my sights to tighten that group up a little bit. That being said, I still pulled a few rounds down and to the left. And that is something that happens to me with a lot of polymer pistols, even if they are hammer fired or striker fired. But that being said, this does feel good in the hand. As I stated earlier, I have the smallest grip panel in here that they offer. They do offer it with a medium and a large. So, you know, depending on your hands, one of those could make it feel more comfortable for you. It does feel like the short recoil rotating barrel does reduce flip a little bit. When I was firing it at a faster pace at the steel, I was able to ring the steel and keep it on target. And I felt like I could get my shot offs pretty quickly without having to worry about the barrel flipping up too much. That being said, I'd really like to do a comparison on a full-size one of these. If I ever get my hands on a PX4, the full-size, I have a SIG Pro, and I think that would be a great comparison because you'd have 2 full-size semi-automatics, one with a tilting barrel, but one with a rotating barrel, both polymer framed, and then I could do some side-by-side comparison and see if the rotating barrel really makes a big difference in muzzle flip. That being said, it was a fun trip. I hope you enjoyed watching the video, and we're gonna finish up by showing a little slow-mo of the side profile of the short recoil rotating barrel system to see if there, if there's any noticeable difference in muzzle flip. So once again, thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.